Good morning, Wolfpack. I know it's been a while since I have made a video, but I've been trying to put together actually the last 5 chakras that are connected to us with the 7 chakras, but they are actually resided on the outside of the body, and come to find out they're connected to noble truths, the 5 noble truths. And they are the solar, lunar, the solar, uh, galactic, and the communication, which are the 5 outside of the body. Now, before you can even start with these 5 chakras, you need to do something first. You have to protect yourself. Always protect yourself. But also, there's the Alamandra, which is this position here next to the heart that's actually going to pull these chakras together. These particular chakras are the ones you need to wake up dormant energies that are laying, that you just seem to cannot get past that 6th chakra or past that 3rd chakra, and you jump to the 4th chakra. This is the 5 chakras that you need to learn to kind of open up the dormant energies that are lying. That's why you can't really change in these other chakras. That's why you still have these ailments or still have these codependencies or things like that. So these are called the circle of power medicine. The noble truths are what they're called. And it's taken me a little while to put it all together, so I apologize that it's taken me a while to put these together. But I do want to give you the hand positions of these chakras, okay? And then I will show you a brief video of how we are putting them together and how you can release these dormant energies. And we're actually going to use a music by Tina Turner. To be quite frank, she is one of the strongest, powerful women that I could ever dance to, is Tina Turner. So before we get started, the first one is going to be your soul chakra, which is the soul star chakra. And it's just going to be your tips together, your hands just like this. The next is going to be your lunar chakra. And these are going to be right at the shoulder. And it's going to be your pinky and your thumbs together. And you're going to put them at shoulder position, okay? This is what your lunar chakra, or lunar, I'm sorry, mandra. This is what these are. And mantras, all they are just, it's helps to release those dormant energies. So I keep saying chakras, it's mantras. The next is going to be your solar chakra, or solar mandra, which is, it's kind of like the protection, but since the solar is 1.5 feet under the ground, you are going to swirl them, okay? So you have a swirling position, just like protection would be this, your solar would be this. Galactic. Your next one is going to be the extension of the middle fingers. You're going to have the index, or your ring fingers like this, pinky fingers out, but the other ones touch like this, okay? That is going to be galactic. That's your 4th one outside of the body. The last and final is going to be your communication mantra, and that one is your V, as in victory. Victory is going to always lead to love. So when you do it, it's victory into love. And through all of this, that's where we're leading to, is love altogether. So when you do your dance, those are the things that you need to consider. When you're changing your different chakra, or your different mantras, your different mantras, you need to remember 5 breaths in between each one. Inhale in, exhale out 5 times before you change your mantra positions, okay? So without saying, we're going to go ahead and start our next video.